If you can tie a hook, you can catch a bass on a wacky worm. This is one of the simplest, most reliable baits ever created, and when the bite gets tough, even pros fall back on it. I'm always blown away that something this simple can catch fish this consistently. I spent 100 hours this past year testing worm colors head-to-head, comparing brands and dialing in the optimum rod, reel, and line setups. What you're about to learn isn't theory, it's field-tested results from my experiences. Today, I'm going to give you the complete guide of what a wacky rig is, the best worms, hooks, how to rig it, how to fish it, where to fish it, variations, and mistakes beginners make. Now, let's dive in. What is a wacky rig or a wacky worm? A wacky worm is simply a soft plastic stick bait, like a Senko, hooked directly through the middle, and it seems to drive bass wild. When you twitch it, the ends flare in the water, and when you pause, the worm shimmies downward naturally. What does it imitate? No one knows for sure, probably an invertebrate struggling in the water, but we do know that bass crush it even in pressured, clear, or slow bite conditions. How to rig a wacky worm. You only need two things, a stick bait and a hook. Use a 1/0 wacky or finesse hook, which is a small profile, wide gap hook that is excellent for hookup ratios. And note, the 1/0 means on the packaging, it'll be like a 1/0. Rigging is simple. Tie on your hook, then slide the hook through the middle of the worm's thickest section. Picking the best worm for wacky rigs. The standard is a 5-inch stick bait, but 4-inch or 6-inches also work great. Here's a truth that confuses beginners. There are hundreds of colors from dozens of bait brands, but the main difference anglers should be aware of is the sink rate, which is usually related to the salt content in the bait. For example, Gary Yamamoto Senkos have higher salt and fall much faster in the water. And on the other end of the spectrum, Yum Dingers have a lower salt content and fall slower. After dozens of hours testing this year, frankly, they all work pretty well. I find myself reaching personally for Yum Dingers more often than not, just because the slower drop rate matches my retrieve style and they're more affordable. Best colors. Traditional fishing advice is to use natural or muted colors in clear water and dark or bright colors in stained or murky water. But my real-world tests surprised me. In one session, 15 completely different colors all caught fish with no discernible pattern. In another test, light colors outfished dark colors 10-1, so it's a little hard to differentiate what to use exactly when. So my recommendation is to bring one light color, like a white or a chartreuse, and one dark color, like a green pumpkin or a June bug. You can then try these out and see what the bass prefer that day. You don't need a tackle shop worth of options. Wacky worms catch bass in almost any color. The best rod, reel, and line selection for wacky worm fishing. The wacky rig is a finesse presentation and it shines on lighter spinning gear. For the rod, I recommend a 6'6" to 7-foot medium light power fast action rod. Because the light power matches the finesse bait, it's sensitive to feel subtle bites, and the fast tip gives clean, reliable hookups. For the reel, 2500 size spinning reel. It's the perfect balance of line capacity, drag, and casting ease. For the line, the optimum setup I found after testing is a 10-pound braid main line with a 15-pound fluorocarbon leader, and here's why. The braid offers effortless casting and zero line memory, so it's really easy to deal with. The fluorocarbon leader adds a little bit of abrasion resistance and invisibility underwater. The 15-pound leader specifically results in fewer breakoffs and has the capability to do slightly stronger hook sets without being concerned about breakoffs. And I will note, I tried a lot of lighter setups like 10-pound leaders or just 10-pound mainline, and I was having a lot of troubles with breakoffs and losing fish to softer hook sets. You'd probably be fine with 10-pound line if you're very diligent about checking for abrasion. And the problem is you might catch a couple fish and there's slight abrasion at the end of your line, and if you don't catch it and retie right away, you're apt to lose fish. That issue goes away completely if you use something like a 15-pound fluoro leader. For beginners, you can tie directly to your main line and be effective. You do not need to use a leader if you don't know how to tie one or you just don't want to deal with it. How to fish a wacky worm. This is an area where the results of my 100 hours of wacky fishing surprised me. I found the ideal way to start fishing a wacky worm is as follows. 1. Cast your target. 2. Let the worm fall on slack line for 2 to 4 seconds. 3. Next, you're going to work a pop-pause cadence. The pops are by smoothly pulling the rod tip up or to the side about 6 inches. The idea is to pull hard enough to cause the legs of the worm to deflect from the water resistance, but not so hard it looks unnatural. Then, pause 1 to 2 seconds to let the bait fall, then slowly reel up the slack, then pop the bait again. Rinse and repeat. This cadence is on the faster side of working a wacky worm, but that's for a reason, to cover water faster. In my experience, if bass see a wacky worm, they'll usually smack it right away. If you cover more water, more bass will see your bait and you'll get more bites in a fishing session. If your body of water is super heavily pressured or you want to go deeper, pause longer between your pops. Pausing 5 to 10 seconds is completely reasonable. For hook set technique, I recommend a 5 out of 10 power hook set. Reel up the slack until you feel the weight of the fish, then lift your rod tip up to drive the hook home. If you set too hard, you could break your line, or if you go too soft, you lose a lot of fish because the hook won't penetrate far enough. Where to fish a wacky worm? Shallow water and cover are your friend. A wacky worm excels around bank lines, grass edges, docks, laydowns, pretty much anywhere in clear water ponds, spawning beds, and really just any shallow cover. If you're liking this content and want to learn about other bass fishing baits, check out my new ebook on the most effective 25 bass lures of all time, including when, where, and how to fish them, link in the description. It's the fastest way to understand the baits that actually catch fish. When not to use a wacky worm. Avoid wacky worms when there's thick matted weeds because you'll snag, in muddy water because bass won't be able to see it, in fast current because it's difficult to present the bait properly, and if it's deep like 10 to 15 feet plus, you'll have difficulty getting the bait where it needs to be. If the worm can't fall naturally, switch techniques. Popular variations. Popular variations of the wacky worm include O-rings. Many people add O-rings to wacky worms to help the worms last longer. The simplest version is using one O-ring, then you can run your hook either parallel or slightly angled through the bait just under the ring. The second O-ring variation is to use 2 O-rings, then cross the O-rings. Then you can slip your hook under the crossed O-rings, which gives a very sturdy connection to the bait. Wacky weights. These are weights that can help get the bait deeper faster. My favorite ones are this style that look like a drop shot weight where you slip the weight into the bait, then run your hook through the metal keeper. Alternatively, you can slip a nail weight into the middle of your worm and run your hook around the nail weight. Hook variations. EWG hooks work just fine in a pinch. In this footage, I actually forgot my wacky hooks, but found someone else's snagged in a tree where they broke off, and I used their EWG hook. It completely salvaged my session. I couldn't buy a bite on a spinnerbait, but I immediately started catching fish on the EWG wacky rig. Wacky weedless hooks with a weed guard. These can help with getting hung up with weeds, but be cautious because the weed guard can reduce bites if bass are being really finicky and don't want to see the extra jewelry on the hook. Jig heads. Swapping the hook to a jig head is another easy way to add some weight to the rig and works great in a pinch. For a beginner shortcut, keep it simple. 99% of the time, I use a 1/0 finesse hook with no weight. It's easy and effective. In conclusion, the wacky rig is one of the most beginner-friendly and universally effective bass techniques ever invented. It's simple, subtle, and flat out produces fish when nothing else does. If you take your time, work it slow, and target shallow structure, you're going to get a bite. And if you want to learn the 25 most effective bass lures of all time, make sure to check out my ebook. Make sure to drop your favorite wacky worm color in the comments. Tight lines, thanks for watching.